Wakinyan is both a man and a woman at the same time. That's a hermaphrodite. When this being expresses its male side, it's Heyoka. Yeah? And Heyoka does everything in reverse. They speak the opposite of what they mean. They dress backwards. They walk backwards. Everything is done backwards and opposite. Yeah? So, how this happens is that it only happens to men. Yeah? Because this is the male, what do you call it? The male characteristic of Wakinyan. Yeah, that this is how, because that's the male characteristic of Wakinyan, only men can be Heyoka. And how this happens is a man dreams of lightning and thunder a lot. But this lightning and this thunder, it has to do certain things in the dream. So when this happens, that man has to go to a holy person and tell him what this lightning and thunder did. Because if it follows dream protocol, see, we have dream protocols, okay? Believe it or not. If it follows that certain dream protocol, then that man has to be Heyoka for at least 1 year. So he has to have a very understanding family, yeah, because he's going to say everything in opposite. I hate you. I want you to die. You're ugly. You disgust me. He's going. If he says those things every day, that's a good thing, yeah. Because remember, he's speaking in opposite. What he really means is, I love you. You're special to me. Yeah, you're beautiful. You're wonderful. I want you to live. That's what he really means. So they speak in opposite. They come in, they walk backwards, they have their clothes on inside out and backwards, and they come walking in, their hair's over their face, and what they do is they like, one comes into the room, he's gonna say, goodbye, I really hate you, I think you're ugly, and I hope you die, and then he might say hello, and then walk out backwards again. It's kind of off, yeah, if you can visualize that. And so what he means is the opposite, yeah. You have to do everything in opposite. You have to translate everything in opposite. So what he really meant was, hello, it's good to see you. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. I want you to live. See you later. That's what he means. So you have to make that interpretation, yeah. And these people, they do the simplest tasks in the most difficult manner possible. So, for example, to sit on a chair, all we do is we just sit, pull the chair out, we sit down. What a Heyoka is going to do is going to act as if that chair is giant. So he's going to try to crawl up the legs like it's a telephone pole or something like that. And then once he makes it up to the chair, he's going to go, and he's going to go look down and say, oh, geez, I'm dizzy. And you see what I mean? They make you laugh. And what they're doing is, see, they do these things so that you will laugh, so that you'll feel good. So that they're cleansing you, and they're used in ceremonies that are involving mental illness. Yeah, and there's a ceremony called a kettle dance. Yeah, and I'm not going to say everything about this because this is a really sacred thing, but there's a certain special meat that is put in there. And only people who have a mental illness are supposed to eat that meat. See, today people don't know that. This is really, the churches, they said this is evil. So when people try to do this ceremony today, they don't realize that only people with mental and emotional illness are supposed to eat that meat. Instead, everybody goes over there and gets a piece. Yeah, today when they try to do that. But back the original way is that only people with mental and emotional illness are supposed to eat that meat. And then there's certain songs and ceremony that's done for them, and I'm not going to explain what that is, but my students and those who've attended my seminars in person, you know what that is. It's really a beautiful thing. And then towards the end of the ceremony, the Heyokas come in. They come in and they dance and they entertain. And this ceremony has to do with beating depression, mainly depression, but it can be other illnesses too, like certain personality disorders. What's that one where people, what do you call it? People say, "I'm an alpha wolf," you know. That's a personality disorder. It's not a good thing to be an alpha male or female. In the Lakota way, yeah, that's not good. That's really unhealthy, because you're putting yourself above others, and you trick others to try to get your way, and this violates Lakota virtues of humility and compassion and generosity. Yeah, so this is why, you know, when you hear the people say, "Yeah, you know, I'm an alpha male," you know, or "I'm an alpha wolf," and that's in the Lakota way, that's a personality disorder, that you have a mental illness. So that this is a ceremony that you have to go through to get rid of that, because you have to become part of a community, not above it. That's why. Okay, so. And then, like I said, towards the end of the ceremony, these Heyoka dancers come in, and like I said, these are men, yeah, and they do all these really funny things, and this is to bring the person to reconnect the mind and the heart to the soul and the body. Yeah, it's to reconnect that and to nurture it, and that's done with laughter, and that's why it's sacred. Isn't that interesting? So in our ceremonies, humor is really a big part of it. Even in the sweat lodge ceremony, humor is a big part of that. So when people, you know, are trying to be all serious, you know, and may the grandfathers bless you with everlasting blah 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 blah, and may the butterflies and rainbows ever, you know, bless your whatever, you know. We don't talk like that. We never did talk like that. That's fantasy land. See? That's way too serious. And that's the personality disorder. So people look at ceremonies from a Western perspective, and they say, and this is why they say, "Oh, we gotta be super serious, yeah. Hey, don't be laughing. Hey, don't be doing this. This is a ceremony. You have to be serious." See, that's not the Lakota way. In the Lakota way, humor is really important. It really has to be there. Yeah, I mean, I was inside one ceremony one time, one sweat lodge ceremony, and the guy was, oh, gee. He said, "Yo," I said, "Geez, I'm just barely sitting here. I'm bent all kinds of funny ways," he said. He said, and then he said, "The doctor told me I'm supposed to lose some weight." I said to the doctor, "Geez, it took me a long time to barely get like this." And he and everybody started laughing, and that was right in the middle of the ceremony. See, that's okay. That's really good that he said that, because what that did is that lightened up the load. Yeah, that there were some people in that ceremony who were really struggling. They were scared, and so when this guy said that, he made everybody laugh. Even the medicine man was laughing, and that was good. He put everybody at ease. So that was one of the best sweat lodge ceremonies I ever went to. See, humor is really, really important. Yeah, you have to have humor in your life. Just like sometimes you have to cry, sometimes you have to hurt, sometimes you have to be scared. And sometimes you have to be angry. And that's okay, as long as you don't stay in that emotion. Sometimes in a tense situation, you use humor and brings people together, yeah? Shoot. So that's what happened to me today. Yeah, I caught this Muslim girl off guard, and I think she was really nervous, and she didn't want to just get up and go because she probably thought that might hurt me. Yeah, so she didn't know what to do. So instead, I was standing there looking at all these feminine hygiene products, and I said, "Wow, there's so many different sizes here." And I said it in a funny tone of voice, yeah. So she started, she she wanted to laugh, and that's the only sound she made, yeah. So I said, and then I walked away, and I peeked around the corner, and she was really laughing. Oh shoot! So you see, I went beyond religion, yeah. I went beyond religion, from human man to human woman, and communicated and sent her an energy to laugh. Now she has a funny memory to tell. Yeah. Yeah, this is crazy long-haired guy came in, and I don't know where he's from, but geez, funny looking, and see, I gave her some medicine. Yeah, didn't even care about her religion. I gave her some medicine because it was a tense situation. I didn't want her to freak out, and I didn't want her to feel bad. So I used humor and left her feeling happy. Shoot. So it always depends on the situation. Heyoka. Remember, that's the male representation of this being. It has two names. Yeah? One is Wakinyan, that's the feminine side. Then Wakinyan comes to cleanse, and the woman's cycle, that's a cleansing cycle. It's a very sacred thing that happens, and that's attributed to Wakinyan, the moon, and the earth. Yeah, and the male representation is Heyoka, and that's why only men can be Heyokas. Yeah, it's just, gee, the things that men have to do. Yeah. What the story is saying is that this is a hermaphrodite. It's a man and a woman at the same time, and this is a sacred, very very sacred thing. Yeah, and so and see with Christianity and Catholicism and other kind of beliefs that only see things as this and that. This Wakinyan being, this Wakinyan Heyoka being, doesn't fit. So that's something that they're scared of. It's something they don't like. It's something that they say, well, hey, that doesn't fit the Bible. Yeah, that God only created man and a woman, period. And God created woman for man. That's what they say. So we have a being here that's that is both male and female. See, that really goes against that. See, that's duality. Yeah, when you see things as just this or that, you are a dualistic person. And another thing is that just because you know something, that doesn't mean you know the opposite. Yeah, because in Lakota Star knowledge, it's this, that, and the other. And sometimes there's more than one other. Yeah? It's always going to be at least three ways of looking at something. And it's not about good, it's not about bad, it's not about evil. It's about learning. It's about learning, appreciating, and enjoying, and being at peace with things. And you have to do that within your life first before you can truly understand that. Then you can understand, the existence of hermaphrodites. They really do exist. That people are born this way. They're not freaks. They are totally natural. In our ancient Lakota society, they were regarded as special people. They're not gay. Yeah, they're not. It's not about sex at all. Physical sex. It's not about that at all. Remember, reality begins in the mind. So wherever you are there, yeah, that's where it begins. So with hermaphrodites, it's the same thing. Some of them look a little bit more male, so they might express themselves as male. Some of them may look a little bit more female, so they express themselves as female, but in their private parts, they have both. They're both men and women at the same time. This is not a freak. This is part of reality. But see, the Catholics and the Christians, they only see it as this or that. So to them, hermaphrodites are freaks, and that they need to be operated on to be corrected. Do you see what I mean? In the Lakota world, it's not that way at all. They're accepted. Nature is this way. Yeah? And sometimes in the mind, sometimes something happens during the pregnancy where the mind is a certain way but the body is the other way. And in the Lakota world, long time ago, whatever the child expressed itself as, that's what the community accepted the child as. So sometimes a child will have the mind of a different gender than its body. And so they let the child be. They let the child alone. If it's a phase, it'll grow out. Yeah? And so they let the child alone. And if it doesn't grow out, then they know that this child is what they call transgender. It's not a disorder. Yeah? It's the mind is one gender, but the body's the other. Again, this is not a freak. But see, in the Christian beliefs, they're going to say, "Oh, that kid has a mental illness," and they just send them to counseling, and you know, then they'll get fixed. See what duality does? The dualistic way of thinking of just this or that. See, this doesn't fit. So in the ancient Lakota world, that they let the children be, because reality begins within. That's the reason why. Because reality begins within. So sometimes you have a girl who, outside she's a girl, but her mind is a boy. And she's not a lesbian. Okay? She's a boy. And the other way around too. Sometimes you have a child who's born as a male, but the mind is female. This is not a gay guy. This is not a homosexual. This is a girl. Because the mind is female. Reality begins there, in the mind. Yeah? And then we have very sacred individuals. We have very sacred individuals who have the mind of both the male and the female. Sometimes their bodies are men, sometimes their bodies are women. But their minds have both. And these are not gay people either. These are not homosexuals. These are not lesbians. These are not gay. They're sacred. They live alone. They're complete. That's the Lakota world.